slight delay for a second, but I think it's coming back. Let me adjust my camera here. Hello, Jewel. How are you? And I'll give everybody just a second to come on in. Okay, I think y'all should be able to see. We got a little sprinkle going on outside, but you know that on Mondays we don't do lives outside because my iPad tends to overheat. This is an old iPad, but it continues to work, so I am going to continue to use it, so that we can be able to go live not only on Instagram, but we're able to go live on YouTube as well. So we just got to keep using it, but we'll just have to be inside on Mondays at noon. Although it's not hot outside, it is sprinkling, but even if it wasn't, I don't want to chance it. So while we're waiting for everyone to come on in on Instagram and YouTube, let me just go over a few of the housekeeping rules, because we've gotten a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new followers. And so for all of you that are new, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We go live every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and then every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if everything goes well. This Friday, I'll go ahead and let you know it's up in the air, because if you're not familiar, I am an accountant by day, and the end of the month are always like lots of overtime. Actually, this week it'll probably be lots and lots of overtime to prepare for the end of the month. So I'm Ayana of Southern Entertaining, and we're teaching beginner gardeners to stop daydreaming about a garden that you wish you had, and we are going to grow one, and we are going to grow a garden together. And so as we continue to go through the gardening season, I was reading some things, and oftentimes we put different fertilizers in our soil, but I want to go over this series because we have everyday items that we use that can be used to feed the soil as well. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check our community tab over on YouTube, because we announce when we're going live most of the times. But if you really want to be notified when we go live, make sure you text the word "Let's Grow," LETSGROW, to 474747. That's "Let's Grow" to 474747. And if you know someone who is thinking about gardening, talked about gardening, make sure you like and share this information with them. And also get on our email list. If you haven't downloaded the 5 Tips to a Flourishing Garden, go ahead, make sure you do that on YouTube. I'll put all of the links in the description once it has rendered. And then for all of my friends over on Instagram, it's the link is in the bio to everything. So hello to everyone who is joining us. Hello, Homestead in the Hood. I have not forgot about you. Thank you so much for the email. I have got to sit down. I don't even want to tell y'all how many emails that I've got that I need to go back and look at. It's a lot, but it's okay. We are going to get to it. So I wanted to also tell y'all, keep the pictures and keep tagging me on Instagram. Keep those coming, because I've gotten some pictures of people who just started like last year growing, and they're sending me some beautiful pictures of the progress that they have made just by starting a garden. And see, that's what I'm trying to get people to realize. I think a lot of us has gotten in our head that it's hard, it's time consuming, it's just too much, and stuff happens. But once you start doing it, once you start growing, you will really start to enjoy it. So hello, Josie B, how are you? So what I wanted to do, we're gonna make a 5-part series. For one, I don't want to keep y'all too long, because I'm actually on my lunch break on Mondays when I go live, but I don't want to keep everyone long. And I just want to break down different items that you probably have every day in your home that you can also use to feed your garden. So we're going to have a 5-part series. And this series is like everyday items that you have in your home that can feed your garden. So let me just, before we get started, let me first tell you, if you are new or whether you have been on our gardening journey with us for a while, you will know that I always try to emphasize to feed your soil. You want to feed your soil. When you start feeding your soil, then the garden, the growing, the plants, they will follow right in line. But I always try to promote building healthy soil. That's what it's all about, because when you build healthy soil, that healthy soil can prevent a lot of things that may happen just by having healthy soil. And I'll just give you an example. When you have healthy soil, now I'm not saying this happens all the time, but sometimes healthy soil can help fight off a lot of pests and a lot of diseases. So you want to build your healthy soil, and then the plants will come right along after that. They will be happy in that soil, and they will grow for you, and they will flourish. So always building healthy soil. So for part 1 today, what we're talking about is one way you can build healthy soil is by adding coffee grounds. You can add coffee grounds to your soil, and that will help add nutrients. So first, let's take a step back. In the soil, you have micronutrients and you have macronutrients. So what we want to do is we just want to add these nutrients in our soil. Now, you also know that in fall, I also encourage everyone to get your soil tested, because especially if you're new to gardening, that will help with a lot of frustration. Because a lot of times we start, and then certain plants require certain nutrients. Well, all of them require nutrients, but certain plants require more nutrients than another one. And just follow along with me as I break down the coffee grounds. So the coffee grounds are a great way to add nutrients in your soil. After I have a Keurig, and after I get done, I have a little bowl over there where I just pour in the coffee grounds into the Keurig. Now, this is what I want to tell you. I just do regular coffee. I'm not sure if you can use the flavored ones or not, but I just have like the regular coffee. I have a bowl where I'll just put the coffee grounds in, and then when I have enough in the bowl, I will go and feed my soil with the coffee grounds. But the coffee grounds, they offer so many things. So in the garden with Grandma, she says she loves doing this too, because the coffee grounds, they offer so much. They offer nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and those are things that we need in the soil. Now, if you don't drink coffee, because for a long time, I just started back like drinking coffee. I stopped for years. I don't know, because it would just, I don't know if it was indigestion or what, or the acidicness, but I'm back on track now because I've changed my eating habits as well. So I like to add the coffee grounds. Now, if you don't drink coffee, if you know someone who drinks coffee, ask them to save you some. But when I start my garden, a lot of times after I get my soil test back, like I will go to places like Starbucks. In our Starbucks, they actually have, you don't even have to go to the counter and ask them anymore. They have this basket that is kind of near the counter, and it says grounds for coffee, or coffee grounds for the soil, or something like that. But it's just a basket that they've had. It's in a big silver bag, and you just take what you want. Sometimes they actually have newspaper in there as well. Now, that's not part of our series, but I've noticed that sometimes they'll have like newspaper in there. And so if you want to take newspaper to put in your garden, you can do that too, because it's going to break down. But the coffee grounds are a good way to add those nutrients back into the soil. Now, this is what I want to tell you about coffee, because me personally, being in Southeast Georgia, I got to be a little bit careful, because coffee grounds can sometimes be acidic, and it can change the pH of your soil. Now, I use the coffee grounds for things like my blueberries. I use them for my strawberries, my blackberries, my azaleas. Let me see if I can get this word right, y'all. Is it rhododendrons? A lot of people here have rhododendrons. I don't have any, but they do have rhododendrons. I use them sometimes for my rose bushes and some of the shrubs and evergreen plants that I have. And if you look at some of the more popular slow release fertilizer, because I actually have used Hollytone as well for things like the blueberries and all of my different berries and my roses and my azalea, you'll see that they're acid loving plants. And so sometimes the coffee grounds can help if you're growing those plants, but be careful because they can always also change the pH of your soil. And the reason why I say that is because we have very acidic soil. And so every year when I get my soil test back, a lot of times I have to have lime. I have to have lime to bring that pH back up because I think the last soil test we had, our pH was like 5.5, and a lot of plants they want that kind of on the neutral side. So I would say between 6 and 7 is they like the neutral side of the pH. But it's good for you if you have alkaline soil, and it's a great way to bring that pH down. So coffee grounds is really good. It's very good for some of our acid loving plants. But I just wanted to put that disclaimer out. Like it tends to be on the acidic side. So if you have acidic soil, just kind of be careful with that. But if you grow like rows and rows of blueberries, definitely get you some coffee grounds, because they will definitely do the trick for you. And that's a great way for you not to have to throw things away. If you have compost, that's a great way. Like we add coffee grounds to our compost. So we do what's called vermicomposting. But a lot of times I'll still take those coffee grounds out and just put them directly into my containers with the blueberries, or directly into the strawberry. We have a little strawberry patch. So I'll just add that there, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to build our soil. That's the main thing we want to do. And so coffee definitely does that. So I saw some comments coming up. I don't want to let too many go by without them getting too far. Life began in a garden. God made man from the soil. Human body comprised from the soil. Fresh or spent coffee grounds. I do, Jewel, I do the spent coffee grounds. So after I'm done with the coffee grounds, and we just have like the little Keurigs, I have a bowl right there that I will just take it and empty into my little bowl. Once it gets full enough for me, I'll go out there and add some to like my blueberry containers, and then I'll also add some to our strawberry patch as well. And we have azaleas that are growing. They're also acid loving plants, and so I'll just add them around the soil quite a bit. Hold on, y'all, because I don't want Instagram to go off. Okay, I use coffee grounds in my lemons, okay, and blueberry plants. Exactly, Thomas. Yeah, blueberries, it is amazing for blueberries, those coffee grounds. And like I said, if you don't drink coffee, because everybody doesn't, then go to, even if you don't have a Starbucks, go to one of your coffee shops and tell them, if you don't mind, can you save the regular coffee for me, and I'll come back and pick it up. Because a lot of times they'll start early in the morning, and just tell that person, like, I'll come by like that afternoon or something, because they've had all morning, they're changing the coffee filters. And if they want to, they can keep the coffee filters, just put the coffee filter and the coffee all in a bag. That's what one coffee shop used to do for me. I would have to call that morning and say, if you don't mind, can I come by at 3, just to let somebody know, because she would have to let her staff know, don't put those in the trash. And it will be just like a clear bag, and she put the filters and the coffee in there for me. I come by, pick it up, and it's a great way to keep things from going to the trash too, and is feeding your soul. Hello, Letitia, how are you? Hello, gardening fam from sunny, hot, White Bear Lake, Minnesota, 4B. Hello, Devin, how are you? Hello neighbor, I didn't know about Starbucks. Yes, Debbie. The one on the base for us, they have the basket. Now they have a few more locations. And so one lady told me if you call that morning and just let them know, I'll tell them, let's like a supervisor or somebody know. I'll tell them don't take the trash out. It's several times I've went to the Starbucks right up the street around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they have it ready for me, like, on the side, and they'll just go back to the back and get it. But even if you have a local coffee shop, just call them and ask them would they do that for you. Come back and feed your soil with it because you're going to get some great nutrients in the soil as well. Hello, Big Mama's Garden. Hello, Yankee Sister. How are you? Yep. One more Jen or Jim. Yes, I haven't had any luck with growing lettuce or spinach. Letitia, what are you trying to grow it now? And the reason why I'm asking is because lettuce and spinach for us, and I see you're in zone 9 and we're in 8B, right now it's too hot for it. So even if you do get it to germinate, like are you having problems germinating or you just can't get it to grow? If you do have problems germinating and it starts to grow, it is likely to bolt in this weather. It is too hot right now for lettuce or spinach unless you have a lettuce variety that can take hot weather. I have a couple lettuce varieties that they say is great for heat. They can take heat too, but I haven't tried it because I always start my lettuce when it gets cool. But if you want to, also try what they call underplanting. So if you have a taller plant, I'll just use okra for an example. Okra that can shade that can shade the plant and offer it a little bit of shade, you can try to do it that way. Big Mama's Garden use coffee grounds a lot to enrich my soil and to also help to kill ants too. Well, I need to go put some more out because we're having so many ant beds that some of them are affecting some of my plants now. And I've tried the whole take one mound and put it to the other, and it's not really working out. Somebody said like take part of a mound and mix it in with another, and it'll do fine. So maybe I need to put some coffee grounds on top of that because we've been having so much rain that whatever I'm doing as far as pest maintenance, it's raining now. So we'll see. Okay, one more again. Gotcha, Jewel. Gotcha, Yankee Sister. Okay, I am with you. Let me go over. I'm gonna come back to the comments, but let me go over to IG because we have some comments with that too. We have a lot of people who also use coffee grounds over here as well, and they do it as well. Yeah, coffee grounds, and that's like we're trying to reduce the landfill as well. We're trying to reduce that landfill. So coffee grounds, and this is just part. Remember, y'all, this is a 5-part series. So this is just part 1 of 5. We got some more good ones coming up that we're going to talk about, but I just don't want to drag it out so long to where I lose y'all attention. So that's why we're making it a 5-part series. I'm going to give you 5 things, and if you don't have them in your home, I'm quite sure you can get somebody to save them for you. Just like the coffee grounds. Grow your veggies. Also use ground eggshells to my tomato and pepper garden beds. Yes. Our SB does that. Okay, our Starbucks does that too, and the filters decompose. So yeah, so that's why when you talk to them, just tell them don't even worry about the filters. Throw everything in there and just let it decompose in the soil. You're absolutely right in the garden with grandma. So I've done the coffee filters too. Actually, when I had the drip coffee, I would just take the coffee filters and all of it and just put it in the garden as well, or put it in the blueberry plants because they will decompose over time. You are so right. Thank you so much, Letitia, for the super chat. Thank you very much. I have 2 Starbucks here in Rincon. Okay, you're not too far from me, Debbie. Gonna hit them up. Yes, call them or either go by there or either see if they have the basket. The one right here on Fort Stewart, Debbie, I don't even have to ask anyone. It's kind of off to the side where they have, you know how they have their mugs and different things that you could buy, like the packaged coffee. So it's kind of off to the side when you walk in, and they just have like this basket, and it says grounds for. It has a little cute saying on there, grounds for coffee, grounds for the soul, or something. But it's really cute, and they just have like the big. They have to be either they may be like 5 or 10 pound bags that they have, just like in the silver container where they just like taped it up. A silver bag and they taped it up. You don't even have to tell the people that you are getting them. Just walk in, get what you want. If the basket is empty, I would definitely go up there and ask them when they're going to fill it up again. So, woman, yeah, okay, Yankee sister. Yeah, I noticed. I didn't know if you were saying Jim or Gian, but I got you. One more Gian. I'm with you on that one. Letitia, yes, I personally will wait until the fall time because let me tell y'all about spinach. Now, it might be just me, but spinach, you got to kind of coax that to, I don't know if that's the right word. Spinach needs like that perfect temperature. Like it can't be too hot, it can't be too cold. Like I notice when it starts getting fall, spinach sometimes is tricky to germinate. Now that's just me. That's just me. But it does like the cool weather. Lettuce. Now the lettuce you may could get to germinate, but like I said, it will probably go to seed if anything. So wait until you said you were in zone 9. So I probably would wait around to end of September, October. Now, if you want to start them inside, you possibly can next month. You can start them inside. And so even with the spinach, I don't have them, when I start my spinach inside, I don't necessarily have them on a heating mat. Hopefully I can film the process because I know we're going to grow spinach this year. That's on my list. Hopefully I can film the process and then like share it on a YouTube video. But tell me, Letitia, also, do you have like the soil cups, and how deep are you planting them? Because lettuce seeds is one you don't want to plant too deep. You almost want to cut, like if you cover it with soil, it's like a fine dusting, real fine dusting. Like you don't want to plant that too deep because on most packages it does say do a light coating on top if you do. But lettuce seeds, yeah, tell me how you're doing that. If you're doing it in cups. Lettuce seeds is another one that I actually soil block. But if you don't want to soil block it, you can still do it in cups. You can direct seed them, but you don't want to plant lettuce seeds too deep as well. Thank you so much from 37 on. You are just amazing. You are amazing. I got something for you. I know what you said, but I got something for you. Dried mealworms have amazing nutrient properties. Okay, Google them. I'll grind them up into powder and add them to soil. Thank you for sharing that, Josie. So dried mealworms can also add nutrients back in your soil. Okay, Yankee sister, I put coffee grounds in my compost. Absolutely. That's a great way to use those coffee grounds. Can I just use my compost or straight coffee grounds for my blueberries? Yankee sister, since I drink coffee and I have the bowl here, I just go out there to the blueberries and I just put them straight into the in the pot because we're growing blueberries in containers. But you can definitely do it either way because we compost as well too, and sometimes I'll put coffee grounds in there. But you know, if we have guests over and I just have an excess amount of coffee, then I will also just put them straight into the container. So either way is right. It just depends on how you want to do. Okay, so Devin said that also. Spinach is super temperamental. It is. It's very finicky. As a matter of fact, I was surprised. I was surprised when last year around end of October, I just direct sowed it because I know that they're like Devin said, temperamental. I direct sowed it and I was so surprised to see them come up. Now it took about 7 to 10 days to come up, But I had actually shocked myself. I took some pictures and put them on Instagram because I was seriously shocked. They are. Um, so don't feel bad if they don't germinate the first time, or if you say you have trouble with them. They're really finicky. They are. But once you find that sweet spot, I'm telling you, you'll pass the information on because you'll be able to do it just like that. Second nature. I also recommend compost tea to give nutrients to root crops. I love compost tea. I love compost tea. What we do, grow your veggies, and thanks for sharing that, is on at the bottom of our little compost bin, the liquid collects. And so I'll take that liquid. I have a bowl that I put it in, or not a bowl, but a, what do you call it? One of the food grade, like 5-gallon pitchers or whatever. And we have a like a fish aerator. We'll add some water in there, and then we'll let it aerate. And I will just feed the plants the compost tea. It's not only good for, it gives, you're right, it gives the nutrients great to root crops, but a lot of times if you see your plants like struggling just a little bit, if you take a sprayer and add the compost tea on the leaves, it's a great uptake. Like it uptakes in the leaves really quick. So you're just feeding the leaves, and it's a great way to get some nutrient uptake. Hello, Growing with Donnie. How are you? How are you? So thanks for sharing that, because compost tea is really good for your plants. They also sell some as a concentrate if you're not composting, that you can come home. I think they say add like a gallon of water, let it aerate for about 18 to 24 hours, and then like just feed your plants with it. If you don't want to do that, you could still go around the soil and feed it. But a lot of times when I see some of my plants struggling, I will just do straight to the leaves, because I know that they is quick nutrient uptake for them. Let's see here. I have started spinach in my garage. Nothing yet. I will just have to harden them out. Yankee sister, keep us posted with your spinach. Yes. It seems like, I'm telling you. So do y'all see where it's not just one person or another person? I'm telling you, spinach is once you find that sweet spot, I'm telling you, it's like, finally, finally. I have tried them on a small raised bed, but I'll try them in cups. Yeah, and keep us posted, Letitia, and let us know. But um we did the raised beds, just direct seeded. But this year I want to get them out a little bit earlier, because that spinach was really really good last year. So I'm going to start some inside as well, and I may still direct sow some also. Are they good for blackberries and yellow raspberries? I know, Homestead in the Hood, I also use the coffee grounds on my blackberries. I'm not sure about the yellow raspberries, but what I will tell you is the slow release fertilizers that I have, that's like berry tone, and on there it says for acid loving plants. It does have raspberries. Now I'm not sure about the yellow raspberries, but it does have raspberries. Like you could use it for your raspberries, your blackberries, and your blueberries. So I hope that will help. But yeah, coffee grounds, y'all save them. Call your coffee shops. Tell them to save them for you. Tell them to keep the filters. That's fine as well. And that way you can start to feed your soil. I'm waiting to start my greens until late September, since my first frost date is October 1st. Devin, you are on it. You are on it. Um, wow, y'all first frost is October. Yeah, Minnesota 4B. That'll be right. It's almost August, y'all. It's almost August, and so for a lot of us, it's time to start thinking about those fall gardens if you're able to do it. I use a diluted, usually a 1-to-4 ratio of steep alfalfa meal and greenscapes for the garden. That is nice, Yankee sister. That is so nice. Steep alfalfa meal and greenscapes from the garden. Yes. Okay. Oh, I know Minnesota probably don't. I know it. When you said your first fall frost is October 2nd, yeah, it's Minnesota, and I know y'all probably get lots and lots of snow. Okay, so Debbie, you're raining too. Yeah, it's supposed to rain all day. Now let me tell y'all what happened this morning, and then we are going to close it out. Is I was out there harvesting some peppers because we're growing the paprika peppers, and all of a sudden it just started raining. The sun was out, it started raining, and I was like, let me get ready to go. By the time I got back to the door, it had stopped. Now it's sprinkling outside now, but I'm hoping I can go out there when I get off and thin out my green beans because I planted some green beans, 55 days. I have enough time, and so I have to thin them out because they're starting to grow, and I planted two per hole, and so now it's time for me to thin. I'm just trying to get y'all, when I tell y'all I don't know what I'm going to do because everything, this is when it's very hard for me because I know we're supposed to be planning for the fall, but this is when things start to grow good and you just have to, some things you're just going to have to pull. Like my okra is starting to take off, and I'm just like, I just get a little bit sad, and this is when I start thinking about, you know what, it's time to break more ground. It's time to, you know what, let my husband, less and less grass you got to cut. Less and less grass you got to cut, and I'll just start. This is what makes me keep breaking ground in our backyard, is because when I have to transition like this and I'm not ready and I don't want to, and the plants are still growing and I'm still getting tomatoes and I'm still getting peppers, but I know I need to be, starting seeds for fall. This is really what makes me keep like expanding the garden. But remember, make sure you have enough make sure you have enough time to nurture the garden as well. Hello, Betsy. How are you? When the sun's out and it's raining, you know what, Devin? That's what I wanted to say that on here, but I didn't want people to be like, "What is she talking about?" So Devin has heard it too. When the sun is out and it's raining, my dad used to say the devil is beating his wife. Now that we were told that as well, and that's what I said too when I was out there this morning. I was like, oh wow. Okay, so the devil's beating his wife. So we were told the same thing. I really wanted to say that, but I didn't want people to give me this look like, what in the world is she talking? What the devil got to do with raining and the sun? Okay. And then from 37 on says his grandma used to tell him that too. Okay, good, y'all. That is so good because I thought I've had people, y'all know we're from military background, and I've told people that, and when I could, if I could just give you the look that they used to give me, like, and they would be like, no, I never heard that. Like, I would get this stare, like, I don't know what she's is she okay? I don't know what she's talking about. So thank y'all for putting that in the chat. So we got a lot of people that have heard that as well. Okay, so Yankee Sister says, oops, autocorrect. Okay, green scraps. I got you, Yankee Sister. That's some down south old folk stuff. Yes, and y'all know we're from the south, so we will hear that too. When it's raining and the sun is out, the devil is beating his wife. So yeah, my grandmother used to say that too. And then don't y'all seen my reel on Instagram about the thunder and lightning? You got to get somewhere and sit down, and you got to be quiet. You got to be quiet and no giggling, and playing around. I have to chase the piss ants on 2 acres with all the rain. They are everywhere. It's going to be 96 degrees here in the next few days. Did you see that too, Debbie? I looked at the calendar for the week and I saw 97. I'm starting my second crop of cucumbers and cantaloupe. I have some cucumber seeds right now, 45 days, and I said if you don't get out there and plant those cucumbers, I definitely have to do that. So I'm with you, Debbie. I think if for us, yeah, I think Wednesday is supposed to be 97. So I think it's supposed to rain today, maybe tomorrow, and it is supposed to get really hot. And if I'm not mistaken, from 37 on was telling me in Texas in the hundreds this week for him as well. So yeah, y'all get ready for August. That's all I can say. Let's get ready for August because I don't know if it'll be a rainy one, but for us, it'll be a hot one. Okay, so Debbie says that her family says that too. Y'all are amazing. And from 37 on, say you ought to do an episode on superstition. I'm telling you, we used to get told so much stuff like don't put your purse on the floor, you won't have money. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, lots and lots of stuff that we were told as we were growing up. So now you'll notice that I don't put my purse on the floor, things like that. But yeah, with the rain and the sun out, yeah. So Big Mama's Garden, I mix in coffee grounds, eggshells, banana peels, and fertilize my garden and fruit trees with it. It takes a little while to collect all of it. And you just said one of the ones that we're going to talk about on one of our other episodes. Absolutely. All great way. It's so many things that we throw away. I just want us to start being aware. Like, even with the for us, when we compost, even when, like, we had kale this weekend, so those little stems, I will take those stems, I will cut them up maybe in like 1 inch pieces, and I will keep them in our compost bin right under the cabinet. And then when I have some newspaper and different things like that, I'll just go give them to the worms, because we vermicompost. And I think that I didn't say exactly what vermicomposting was. So we do vermicomposting, which is the worms are composting for us. So we have red wigglers, and I like them because, like, they continue to multiply. And so what I'll do is every few days I'll go out there and I will give them whatever food scraps that we have. And so they break that food down, and it's just like the worm. They give you like the worm castings, which is great for feeding your soil as well. I like putting worm castings like in my planting hole when I'm about to start to plant. But it's just so many ways, and I just want us to start being aware. Like, when you about to throw something away, I want you to say, wait a minute, you know what? I can use this for my garden. That's what it's all about, building your soil. You want to build your soil, because I'm telling y'all, when you start having healthy soil, the plants are going to thank you for it, and they're going to reward you for it by giving you like a bounty full of whatever you are growing. Y'all know I say it doesn't matter if you're doing herbs, flowers, vegetables. You will see, as you build your soil over time, the plants are going to reward you with it. Hello, Denise. How are you? Yankee Sister says, born in Connecticut, but we had a lot of sayings that I keep going today for this generation. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Some people will look at us like, never heard that. But even now, my kids look at me when I say some things like, what? I'm like, yep, you don't know anything about that. Babies that keep their hand open will be broke all their life. Now, Jewel, I have not I have not heard that one. So Jewel says babies that keep their hands open will be broke all their life. That is a new one. Debbie says cannot wash clothes on New Year's Day because you will wash a family member out. We heard that one too. And you got to eat greens for money, and luck, black eyed peas for luck. But yeah, you better not wash. You better not sweep. I don't even vacuum on New Year's. I just, that week prior, just do all your washing, do all your stuff. But yeah, we couldn't sweep either, Deb, because they say you're going to sweep somebody out the family. So yeah. I have serrano pepper plants that didn't produce peppers. I don't know what I'm doing wrong from seed. Let me ask you something, Denise. Do you have a lot of leaves on your pepper plants? And the reason why I'm asking Denise this is because I've had people send me pictures of their tomato plants. Y'all, these tomato plants are beautiful, and they just have a bunch of leaves, and they're great. And when someone sends me a picture of a tomato plant that is big and is beautiful, but they're not getting fruit, that lets me know that you got a lot of nitrogen in your soil, because nitrogen is good for leaf growth, but you're going to need to put some phosphorus and potassium in there, because the phosphorus helps with the fruiting of the plant. And that's why I asked you, did your pepper plant, your pepper plants doesn't have any leaves, no leaves either. Are you growing them in a container, or are you growing them in ground? They're in containers. So that is and you grew them from seed, but no leaves. So did you once have leaves? Like, are the leaves dropping off? Because that's very strange, Denise. That's why I'm asking you all these questions. So it's not a nitrogen problem. So did you ever have leaves and then they just started dropping off? I don't know what I did wrong. So I'll wait for you to answer that. I've heard, okay, so from 37 on says, have y'all ever used, let me get it right, Milorganite, Milog, Milorganite. I have heard someone, let me tell you from 37 on, someone told me to use that. It's I don't want to mispronounce. Is it Milorganite? But I've seen it. I always see it at Home Depot. I'll just say that. Someone told me to use it. I will tell you this. When I got my soil test back, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and they gave me what I should put in there, and I was like, well, where am I just gonna find that at? That was the brand. That was what they told me to use, but I didn't use it. I haven't used it. I found another brand and I used it that way because I think I had to use like 15015. It was something with my nitrogen. But I have not used it personally, but I have heard people to say that they have used it. But I do see it quite a bit. Any suggestions for adding nutrients to clay soil and growing fruit trees we have here in Georgia? Nutrients to clay soil. So the first thing I would do, because the clay soil, you definitely want to kind of break up some of that clay, is I would probably add gypsum to kind of get, because you want, like, clay is good for holding minerals. Sand is good for drainage, and then you got the silt. So you want a combination of all three. But I would probably first start by adding gypsum. And gypsum does have nutrients in it, and growing fruit trees here in Georgia. Now, a lot of what type of fruit trees are you growing? Grow your veggies. And the only reason why I'm asking is because we are growing like the key limes and the lemons and citrus plant. And I know we add citrus tone to our, fruit trees. But I wanted to know what type it is. But yes, the clay soil, you definitely want to kind of break that up a little bit. But clay soil, and it's good to have a little clay soil, because clay soil does hold the nutrients, but you need that drainage as well, which is where the sand comes in. So we got good drainage because we definitely have sandy soil, but I understand what you are saying. So let me know what type. Okay, apples and pears. Hello, Learn to Grow. How are you? Apples and pears. So let me research that, because a lot of times I will do, are you growing them in ground or in containers? And then one more question, have you ever had your soil tested? Do y'all see how big I am on getting your soil tested first? Because and the only reason why I'm big on that is because a lot of times we can put nutrients in our soil that we don't need, and then too much nutrients is also not a good thing too, because you can tie up other nutrients. So that's why I'm asking, like, in ground, in containers, and have you had your soil tested? Going to play in the water. Yes, we have lots of rain, lots of rain here. But that's why I'm asking, because I always tell anyone, get your soil tested. And since you're in Georgia, you'll probably you could do like the Agriculture Extension Office, and they'll probably send your soil to UGA. And it takes about a week to come back. And what I always do, Grow Your Veggies, is I always tell them exactly what I am growing, because not only are they going to tell you what's already in your soil, but then they'll tell you based on the amount of space that you're doing. Like, say for instance, I'm doing like 50-foot rows or something. I'm just using that as an example. 50-foot rows of that. So they'll tell you how much to do, like, per 100 feet. Or I really do like the way that UGA sends our soil test back, because not only they will give you the nutrients that you need, but they'll also suggest some micronutrients that you need. Thank you so much for stopping by Learn to Grow. You have a good day and have fun playing in the water as well. But they'll also give you some micronutrients that you can add in as well, and then they'll tell you based on the space like how much to add. So I would definitely suggest you do that first, because I don't want to like say use this fertilizer in there and then you might already have that nutrient, and then now you may have too much of it, because too much is not good either, because there are some things that will get tied up, and you don't want that, because you want your apples and pear tree to flourish. That's what we want, y'all. That's what we're all about. We want our things to flourish here. We don't want to get frustrated with our plants. I'm shelling peas, and I will be putting the shells in the blender for instant compost and add back to the soil. Yes, Josie. See how Josie is taking things that you would probably normally throw away. You grew the peas, so you know that the shells have plenty of nutrients in them. So that is a great idea. Put them in the blender, put them back into the soil. So not only are you things are not going to the landfill, but you're building up your soil as well, and that's what it's about. So I'm glad. Thank you so much for sharing that, because you could definitely continue to add that back to the soil. Is cardboard boxes good for compost? Yes. We add like the brown paper bags that we get from the store. We will add those. Now what I will tell you is, so that they can break down a little bit better and faster, I do the cardboard boxes, like I'll take some scissors or something and just kind of tear them into pieces, so it's like not one big piece. So I even like with the kitchen scraps that we have, I kind of like to break them down a little bit more, just so that the worms can get them. Now they will break down if you put them in there, but that'll help them break down a little bit better when you just kind of tear them into pieces, if the cardboard is like not thick enough, or somewhere where you can like cut them up into pieces. But yes, cardboard is very good for compost. What about, okay, so at Debbie, so from 37 on says, at Debbie Singleton, what about if you sweep your feet with a broom, you have to spit on it and turn around 3 times so you don't get bad luck? You better come through, because we've heard that one too. Let me tell you. Now, I heard that one since I have been married to my husband, because I was sweeping under the table one time and I swept his feet, and I was like, he done took the broom, y'all, and spit on. I was like, what are you doing? So yes, I have heard that over the last 20 something years. I've heard that one too, with the broom. Dry black eyed peas with fresh pork and greens for money. Yes, Debbie. Yes, Debbie. We had to turn the lights off and close the blinds when it was storm real bad. Yes, my grandmother would say the lights would attract lightning. Oh, I didn't know that, Big Mama's Garden. Okay, I didn't know that. So we would be sitting in the dark until the storm passed. Okay, so that one I learned something new. But yeah, we had to turn the TV off, turn everything off, and get somewhere and be quiet. And it was a lot of grandkids over there, so you can imagine how we're like giggling. And she'd be like, be quiet. You better be quiet. I'm sorry. Yes, they do have leaves. So what I would do, Denise, is try a liquid fertilizer with, now what I use, and I don't have it with me, is I use the Espoma Bloom, because what you want to do, you need for those plants to fruit. And so you need some phosphorus and potassium, because it sounds like it's a lot of nitrogen in the soil. It's producing some beautiful leaves, but it's just not giving you the fruit. So it sounds like you need to get a liquid fertilizer, because the liquid fertilizer is going to get right to the soil. That is good for blooms. It's all different kinds, but look for that middle number and that last number to be higher than the first number, because the first number is nitrogen, the second number is phosphorus, and the third number is potassium. So you want the second and third number to be higher than that first number on the NPK. And all of them are always NPK, but you want the second and third number to be a little bit higher, because what you need now, you got the leaf production, what you need is the blooms, and the blooms are what's going to start creating the peppers. So yes, that is what you are going to. Yes, don't break the mirror. Okay, so you say 10 years bad luck. It used to be 7, 7 for us. So yeah, don't break the mirror. Only cut your hair on a full moon to get full growth. Didn't know that, Jewel. Did not know that. See, I'm learning some new ones today. You're right. Maybe we need to do. I just need to write all of them down. When someone passes in a room, you cover all the mirrors. Oh wow, that's a new one, Yankee sister. That is a new one. How can I test the soil in my containers? Homestead in the Hood, they have these little kits at the garden center, and you could do it that way. But believe it or not, y'all, believe it or not, when I get my soil tested in the fall, if I'm still going to use the same container with the same soil, because it just depends if I use the same soil or not. But if I know I am, I will send in for that sample as well, because with us here in Georgia, the more samples you send, the cheaper the price is. So the first sample is like $10. If you get 2 samples, it's like $8 a piece. And then I think like 3 or more samples is like $6 a piece. So I'll send that in too. But I have seen the little, their little at-home kits that you can test your containers in as well. And I know that they sell them at the garden center because I've seen them. Because one time I was actually going to get one because it wasn't, I just try to get my soil tested once a year, but I think it was during a time where I just didn't know what was going on with a plant, and I was going to do the at home one. You can add compost and pine bark mix into your clay soil. Okay, thanks from 37 on, and mound the soil up. So that's great information for the clay, our gardeners with the clay soil. You can add compost and pine bark mix into your clay soil and mound the soil up. Thank you for sharing that. We're praying for rain here. I guess we're 9 inches behind where we should be. I feel like all I do is water between the flowers and my grass and my vegetables. Devin, I think we've been getting all the rain. I think we've been getting y'all's rain, because I'm telling you, I'm just like, well, at least the garden is growing and I don't have to water. Debbie Singleton, remove all tape or plastic from the cardboard boxes. Yes, you definitely want to do that before you compost them. And I also, let me tell y'all this, I don't know if you have the same problem. I also used to use cardboard for like my flower beds, and I had to stop because we have a bad problem. I don't know, with the roaches outside. I don't know if y'all have that, but it's just like, it's a moist, dark environment for them. And I just started seeing roaches everywhere. And I was like, okay, I don't think I better do that. So now what I do is I will like put another inch or two of the like the wood chips on to kind of keep away those roaches. I don't know. And I felt like they were just making babies all over the place. But for composting, yes, you definitely can use that for composting. You can make paper machete seedling pots out of scrap cardboard boxes. It will save you money on seedling pots. Thanks for sharing that, Josie, because I've seen where people have taken like the newspaper and the cardboard and made that and like started the seeds. And that is a great way to save money. You can aerate your soil with shredded leaves to the clay soil too, but think about piling compost on top of the existing soil about 6 to 8 inches and plant within the mound. It can eliminate tilling. Okay, so for all of our clay gardeners, I want y'all to listen to that again because I was a little bit tongue-tied. You can aerate your soil with shredded leaves to the clay soil too, but think about piling compost on top of the existing soil about 6 to 8 inches and plant within the mound. It can eliminate tilling. That is very good advice. I had to read it for myself again because y'all know I'm a visual learner, so I was picturing what you're saying as I was reading, and I totally get it. So right now you're going to 6 to 8 inches, and then you're going to plant in that soil right there. Okay. I use my shredder to cut all of my fall oak leaves, collected 8 bags. Some have composted down into great leaf mulch. Yes, that's what I want to try too, Yankee sister, because we have to shred our leaves. because y'all, let me tell you, I went out to the garden this morning and I just picked up 3 slugs just like that. Like, they're, with all this rain, they're truly bad this year. They are truly bad. They are getting into my tomatoes and they are really trying me. And so with the leaves, I can't leave them whole. Like, some people can just take the leaves and use that as a mulch, but I can't. Like, we have to shred them, because that way the snails and the slugs won't hide under them. But the leaves and the leaf mulch, that is great. And then depending on where you stay, like, a lot of people here, they will come by and get leaves and use them to make leaf mulch as well. That's like, I think the compost is black gold and they call the leaf mulch, do they call that? They call it some kind of gold too, but that's a great way to put nutrients from nature back into your garden. It really is. So, okay, y'all. So my lunch break is just about up. Our soil here is that black, rich mud. The extension service will test your soil. Yes, Debbie. So it sounds like y'all got so is it like muddy, like the marsh muddy type? Yes. Now I since they've like, they'll tell you how to go in, because you got to go in a certain way when you're getting your soil tested, so that they can get all of it, like 6 to 8 inches down, go in at an angle. But they always have told me that they can come out and do it for us. Now, I'm not sure with everything's going on, like if they'll come out, but I do know that they have offered that service to me in the past. But they also gave me a diagram, so I'll go in with my shovel and just go in at an angle 6 to 8 inches down. Okay, yes, Effingham County, yes. But yeah, that's something I got to do too. So I'm glad all of y'all brought that up today about the soil testing, because I really need to get ready, especially for our fall garden, because a lot of our fall garden includes leafy greens, which you want to get your nitrogen right because nitrogen is good for leafy greens. So with that said, thank y'all so much. So let's just recap, because I know we had people coming in and out on Instagram and YouTube. So we're doing the 5-part series, and the 5-part series is everyday items that you probably have in your own home that you can use to feed your garden. And so today was part 1, and today is coffee grounds. So if you don't drink coffee, and at the beginning I told y'all I'm not sure, I really am not sure if the flavored coffee is included, because we just do like the regular coffee. But even if not, you can definitely go and ask your coffee shops, could they save that for you? A lot of time you're helping them out. You're preventing someone from taking out the trash, and they love that. And just tell them if it's fine if they leave the coffee filters in there as well. So today, if you have coffee, if you know someone that drinks coffee, tell them to save those coffee grounds. Feed your garden. Remember that sometimes coffee grounds can be a little bit acidic, so we like to put ours on blueberries. We like to put them on our blackberries, our azaleas. I don't have rhododendrons, but that is a very popular plant in the South, and a lot of people have them. And then you can put them on some other acid-loving plants. We also add the coffee grounds to our roses as well. So that's a great way to feed your soil. And then if you compost, you can put that in your compost pile, or like us with vermicomposting, you can put that in there at all. That's okay, Growing with Donnie. We're going to keep this up so you can go back and watch the replay. Thank you so much for stopping in though. Also, guys, don't rely on the soil test you buy from the big box stores. They're almost never right. Are you serious? 37 on? I didn't know that. I've never did it, but I just like the fact that the UGA, they give you the micronutrients, macronutrients, and then they tell you ways to do it, and then they also give you based on how many square foot. So y'all heard it first from 37 on. So thank you all so much, and thank y'all for the interaction, honey. We've talked about some superstitions here, and y'all make me feel a little bit better. So thank you so much. Hello, Angela. We are about to get ready to log off, but definitely catch the replay. So Growing with Donnie says use your extension office for that soil test. Absolutely. And like I said, it's not expensive at all, and the more portions, like the more soil tests you get, the price goes down. So thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we had some great laughs today. Part 2, remember that Friday is up in the air because that's a very busy day for me. That is it's considered the end of the month for us on my job. So I know if I'm working late, hopefully I'll try to take that break, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, so that we can go live on Friday. But make sure, if you're not on the text messaging list, to text Let's Grow to 474747, so that way I can let y'all know if we're going on Friday or not. But I'm going to try my best. Thank you, Growing with Donnie. Make sure you hit the like and the share button, y'all. Share this information with people who just want to use things that you throw away. Let's start using them for your garden, and let's start getting those nutrients back into our soil so we can all grow a flourishing garden. With that said, y'all be safe, and we will talk again soon. Bye, y'all. And I'll keep the replay up, so for those coming in, you can definitely go back and watch it. So y'all enjoy yourselves and have a good week.